I'm Karen. Welcome back to Handmade. So it is that time of year again. Ugly Christmas sweater season. I think ugly Christmas sweaters can be super fun, but maybe you don't want to ruin a sweater that you have or go out and buy something new. And maybe you're not super flashy and out there and you want something a little more subtle. Well then, you are in exactly the right place. Today I'm going to show you 5 temporary ways to decorate a sweater for Christmas so you can be really festive, but then take it off of the sweater at the end of the day without ruining your sweater. Sound good? Let's get into it. So obviously, we're starting with a sweater. I have this plain white sweater that is perfect to decorate onto. For this first one, you'll need red felt. Use scissors to cut out 3 H's and 3 O's. I freehanded mine, but you could draw it out first if you want to. Once you have all of your letters cut out, arrange them to say ho ho ho. Then grab red embroidery thread and an embroidery needle. Thread the needle, but don't tie a knot on the other side. Instead, go around the letter, adding small stitches on each corner. Once you've added 4 stitches, turn it to the inside of the sweater and tie off your 2 ends. So in doing this, we're really just tacking down these letters with a couple stitches. If you want the decoration to be more permanent, you obviously wouldn't want to have such large stitches on the back of the sweater, but since it's just temporary, I think it's fine. So just sew on all of your other letters the exact same way. Then to add a little more decoration, I cut green and red felt to make holly, and I sewed those on with 1 stitch on each separate piece of felt. And that's it. I think this is adorable and it adds some holiday cheer without being super in your face about it. And at the end of the day, just cut all of the embroidery thread and you can remove it without ruining the sweater. This next one is along the same lines, but instead we're going to make a snowman. Grab more felt and then cut 2 large circles and 5 small circles from your black felt. And then cut a carrot shape from your orange felt. Use embroidery thread to tack these on the same way as we did before. I'm adding 4 stitches to each of the large circles, and I also pinned them in place while I was sewing. For the mouth, I added 3 stitches to each of these smaller circles, and I actually used 1 long piece of thread to sew them all down. And once again, that's it. I think this would be super cute for anyone who works with kids, like an elementary school teacher, and you could even dress it up further with white jeans, a top hat, or tying a scarf around your waist. And just like before, trim the thread and it all comes right off. For the next one, I had the idea to add elbow patches. So put on your sweater and mark your elbows with tape. Then grab some green felt and cut out a Christmas tree or any other shape that you want to make. Obviously, cut out 2 of each of your shapes. You can dress it up a bit with a star cut from yellow felt and a tree trunk cut from tan felt. Pin the trees in place, and then, since it's a little hard to sew into a sleeve without sewing all the way through, cut rectangles from cardstock and slip them into the sleeves. Then you can sew your small stitches all the way around without worrying about accidentally sewing your sleeves shut. the star and the trunk the same way with just a couple stitches. Repeat all of that on the other sleeve, and then you're done. This is super subtle since from the front it just looks like a plain sweater, but from the back you have just a touch of holiday cheer. But we've still got 2 more sweaters to make, so let's move on. For number 4, you can put away the felt because we're only using embroidery thread to make festive tassels. To make a tassel, wrap thread around 3 fingers 20 times, and then cut another piece of thread that's a few inches long. If your thread is kind of creased like mine is, a trick is to run it through a hair straightener to smooth it out. Then wrap it back around your fingers and place it down on top of your other piece of thread. Tie that tightly around the top of the bundle, and then cut through all of the loops and trim the ends. You'll want to leave the longer ends of your knot intact since we're going to be using them later. So to attach them, just thread the ends into your needle and push them through the sweater. Once both ends are through the back of the sweater, tie them together, and that's all there is to it. The tassel is now attached. Just repeat that with all of your tassels, and now you've got a super cute and festive sweater that you can customize with any colors and any placement that you want. And just like before, just trim the knots and the tassels come right off with no damage to your sweater. Okay, for this very last one, you know it, I'm breaking out the tinsel. Cut a piece of tinsel to fit around your neckline. And then grab some white embroidery thread, tie a knot on one end and put in a few stitches, and then start sewing on the tinsel by wrapping the thread around it as you go. You can fluff up the tinsel if some of it gets caught under your stitch, but it's super easy. You're just gonna repeat that all the way around the neckline, adding another stitch every 1 or 2 inches. Once you've gone all the way around, just tie off your thread and cut the excess. And then you can repeat that with the arms as well. This one might not be quite as subtle as the others, but it is super festive. And I was a little worried that the tinsel would be irritating and annoying, but it actually didn't bother me at all. I definitely felt like I could have worn this all day long and been the most Christmassy person that has ever existed. And once again, for the last time, all of this comes right off with no damage to my original sweater. So I would love to know in a comment right down below which of these sweater decoration ideas was your favorite. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and I hope you all have a wonderful holiday.